Joining us now with more reaction, the host of War Stories, Colonel Oliver North. Let me pick up what Dr. Gorka was saying. It's interesting to watch the media reaction to the president and not only wanting free trade, but also wanting fair trade and saying that there's got to be reciprocity. Knowing this president as well as I do, you know him well, Colonel North. He's the consummate, constant negotiator. And what he's doing is, well, he exempted Canada and Mexico, and he said, oh, and every other country is open for renegotiation. The whole thing is a negotiation. And similarly here, he obviously never wanted to go to war with North Korea, but nor was he going to give an inch to Kim Jong Un and his dictatorial practices and his intimidation and his supposed show of force with his missile launches.
So do you suppose that there's a rapid translation of the art of the deal being made into Korean right now? I would tell you, the comment made by Senator Graham was spot on. If he thinks that he's going to go into this conversation and try to pull something over President Trump's eyes or his head, he's dead wrong. Look, here's the other part of this that no one's seen yet. For over a decade, the Iranians have been paying for the North Koreans to act as their R&D facility so that the deal that was done isn't going to show somewhere. And the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is in charge of the weapons of mass destruction, the nukes, the ICBMs, the chemical weapons, and the bioweapons, and they have been funding, secretly, financial and tech support to the North Koreans. This is going to put them on their butts. The bottom line of it is, if this works, and it's still a big if, but if this works, it is going to make the entire world safer, because it's not just going to stop the North Koreans, it's going to stop the Iranians, because they can't get away with it doing it at home, even under the ridiculous agreement that was made in Vienna.
You know,
this is good news.
As well as anybody, you understand, and you spent an entire life either involved fighting on the battlefield, being with troops and heroes in the battlefield, and also your work that you did in Iran when you were handed by your government a suicide pill in case, God forbid, you had to take it. I've never understood the mentality. Everybody praised Barack Obama. He wins the Nobel Peace Prize, $150 billion in cash and other currencies. Bill Clinton thought it would work with North Korea and Kim Jong Un. It didn't work. He still has nuclear weapons, and we got to the point where we are today. Well, what is it about the left in America that doesn't seem to understand you cannot bribe a murdering dictatorist regime?
Sean, years ago, you and I were on the radio together talking about Madeleine Albright doing the Macarena in North Korea because of the deal that they'd done in 1994. That deal is what got them to this point today, that and the help of the Iranians. And what's now happening with this arrangement, if this works, and I pray that it does, it's not only going to stop what's going on in the Korean Peninsula, it's also going to have a very positive effect in the Middle East, because this is a major setback for the Iranians. They've been using the Assad regime and the North Koreans to do things that the rest of the world is looking the wrong way while the Iranians are doing it. This is a major blow.
There's no downside.
The Iranian goal.
Can you tell me, all right, sanctions continue, the joint exercises continue. You have a promise before May that, at least from now until May, he's not going to be firing any missiles or test firing them. What's the downside?
No,
I don't see one.
The downside is that this guy comes from a family line that does nothing but lie. They've lied repeatedly now for decades about what they're doing and what they're not going to do.
The minute they lie, the minute the deal's taken off the table.
Understood. And hopefully he will understand that. That's why that little lighthearted comment about art of the deal. If this guy understands what he's up against and sitting down at a table somewhere in the world opposite Donald Trump, he had better mean it when he's saying, I'm going to denuclearize. By the way, it'll be magnificent for the people of Korea.
Be magnificent for the world.
It would be. Absolutely right. This is a major step in the right direction. And I go back to what we always say, trust but verify, and you're never going to get a good deal out of the press. Well, you can count on it. Tomorrow morning, it's all going to be bad.
Donald Trump could give everybody in the world $5 million, and they'd still criticize him. All right, Colonel. Safe home. Appreciate it. Yeah.